Have you ever heard the saying that money answers all things? Well, if that's true, that would mean a few things. That money has an ear to hear, and it also has a voice as well. So, in this short video, I want to show you how to unlock the language of money. Now, when we're talking about the language of anything, what we're speaking of is the ability to communicate with it. Um, and communication is both giving and receiving. And so I believe one of the videos that I did, I spoke about the love languages. And a love language is your ability and willingness to both give love and receive love in a certain manner. And so the same is true when it comes to the language of anything. Whenever we're speaking about the language of money or the language of marriage or the language of love, those all are all related to and connected to your willingness and ability to both give it and receive it. And so that brings us to the question is what is the purpose of money? Because if you don't understand the purpose of something, then you will misdiagnose it and then not deal with it well. And what we see with a lot of people, whether you are in America, in Spain, where it doesn't really matter, is if you don't understand something's purpose, then you will always not deal with it well. I always say this: anything that's not properly purposed will always be subject to abuse. Why is that? Because purpose gives something a reason, it gives it its why. And what we see with people is people don't take the time to really give their money purpose. And so as a result, it controls them instead of you controlling it. So what's interesting to me is people have their different purposes of money. I always say some people believe that money is just to pay bills, money is to pay debt, money is to make money, whatever that may be to you. But I want you to see the fruit of how you're communicating with the money. If you only believe that money's responsibility is to pay your bills, how you give it and how you receive it, or how you distribute it and receive it, will be subject to that. So here's what will happen. You will work or you will have a business, and you will only have the mindset to just pay your bills just so that you can survive. So you're living from the brain in your head called the survival brain or the survival mind, where you're only in a rat race to 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 just pay bills. So you're like looking for your next dollar, you're looking for your next opportunity, or you're always looking and looking and looking instead of settling yourself and communicating with money as someone who is an investor or someone who is a business owner or someone who sees what the purpose, the real purpose of money is. And I'm going to talk about that today. So when we're talking about the language of something, we're talking about how well we can communicate with it in order for the results that we desire to be produced. Okay? So look at your life right now and look at your finances. Ask yourself the question, have I properly purposed my money? Have I properly been communicating with it in a way where it can hear me and it also can answer me as well? Because here's the thing, here's what we have to understand. Anything that can listen to you and also answer to you is something that is within your control. If a money has an ear and a voice, that means that you have to be able to speak to it in a way that it will respond to you. Now, this may seem like weird or spooky, whatever it is, but think about it. Money. If you look at the dollar, look at the yen, look at the whatever currency it is, Usually there's a person on there, right? And an old mentor would say to me, if there's someone on there, they usually have an ear and a mouth and eyes. Meaning there should be a vision, a voice, and a a vision, a voice, and an ear, a listening ability. So that would mean that if it's in my hand, I am the one that has the control over it. Anything that you can't control is something that is more willing to control you. Now, and when I say control, I'm not talking about domination or being domineering to something. What I'm talking about is your ability to give it instruction and purpose so that you are the one that is stewarding what you've been given. Which leads me to my first principle that I want to explain to you is that when you unlock the language of money, what you're saying to money is it is a tool that I'm the one that's responsible for using. If something is a tool, that means that it doesn't have any type of usage without it being in my hand. So if money is a tool, that would mean it's only as strong or as potent or as powerful as the person that's holding it. Meaning that money is not powerful, but the person that's holding it is. So when I communicate with it, when I tell it what to do, meaning when I tell it, okay, today as soon as the money comes to me, I'm putting this amount in this savings account. I'm putting this amount towards this credit card. I'm sending it, but I know where it's going. There, when I was doing financial advising for a firm, when I first started really investing into financial literacy, one of the things that they would always say is that most people have a financial junk drawer. What is a financial junk drawer? It is something that you ever had a you have a junk drawer in your house. It probably has tools in it. It probably has old phones in it. It probably has screws. It probably has chargers, all these different things. And so there's no organization. This is what people's finances look like. There is no organization. So they don't know where stuff is coming and they don't know where it's going. And what ends up happening is at the end of the year, you're looking at yourself like, where did my money go? I've been there more than probably the average person. I've looked at my finance and I'm like, what in the world? What was I actually thinking? Where was I putting my money? Why was I investing in that? Why do I have this life insurance here, this annuity here, whatever it is? And so it looks junky. And so now I don't know how to hold myself accountable because I don't know where everything is going. See, when you have the language of money, you have the language of accountability. Meaning I am in control over this resource and I know where everything is going every single day, every single month, every single hour. So at the end of the year, I can say, oh, we overspend here. So next year, let's not spend here, but let's put the money in a savings account and then put that savings account towards the investment property that we want to do or that we want to purchase next year. That's called making money a tool. So conceptually, the language of money is the language of accountability. It's you, and think about it. Accountability is also connected to accounting. That's why it's called accounting, because accounting accounts for everything, every decision that you've made. So people who want or need an accountant is someone who wants to be accountable for the decisions that they make in their financial world. So the language of money is the language of accounting because it holds me accountable to how I am using or abusing my resources. Therefore, money is a tool. Money is a tool and it's only as powerful as the person that's using it. I have a drill and my drill is powerful, right? But it's only powerful when I hold the button. It only will go as fast as how how um strong my hold is on the button. And if I press too hard, I may hit a circuit, I may hit a wire, whatever it may be. So I have to be gentle enough with it so that I can um um so that I can properly put the hole in the wall that needs to be. I've ruined a few walls because I wasn't controlling the tool and the tool was controlling me. And this is what happens with people. A lot of people have the tool, but the tool is controlling them, called money. What did I say earlier? Money is an answer to all things. That means it has ear, eye, and a voice. So it's supposed to answer the situations of life, and that leads me into my last and final point, and that is understanding the language of money is understanding the language of value. Money follows value. I want you to write that in the comments right now. Money follows value. Money follows value. I want that to resonate within you that money follows value. What is value? You may ask. Value is the solutions, the unique solutions that are created that I am responsible for solving. Okay? It's the problems that are in the world, I become a solution to it. Your job didn't hire you because they just were vacant. They were vacant and that position was necessary for you um or for someone to fill that place because it was necessary for the company to continue. So the job that you have or the business that you create or the whatever it may be is present because of the fact that that position was needed. And so when when you get paid, you're getting paid for fulfilling a need. You're getting paid for solving a problem. You're getting paid for connecting or building the relationship that was necessary. You're getting paid for that. So when we're thinking about the language of money, we're thinking about accounting, or accountability, and we're thinking about value. Value is the exchange between someone else's problem and your solution. So if you're going to college only to go to college, you're missing the mark. If you're not going to college to obtain a skill set that can help you solve a problem, you're wasting your time. If you're only going to college, they say girls go to college to get more knowledge. Knowledge for what? Knowledge is only as good as the solution that you were created to solve. And I can know about something, but if I don't know how to bring the solution of something, then I'm really wasting my time. This is the difference between an arts degree and a science degree. The art is the theory, the science is the application of the theory, right? People get arts degrees all the time. Not no no no. I have an arts. I have a bachelor in arts, but the science is the part that causes people to say, okay, this is how this can be solved. We don't need abstract theory. We need applicable solutions. We don't need abstract theory in the world. We need applicable solutions to what the theory is suggesting. And so, don't get into business if you're not wanting to be valuable to someone else. Don't start any type of clothing line or any type of if it's not solution oriented. Even the clothing line can have some type of solution. What is it solving? It could be helping someone build their self-esteem again. It could be helping someone um, learn to love themselves. It could be so many different solutions. But if you only create a product or service void of a solution, you're not valuable. I hope I'm helping you. What does money do? Money follows value. So I don't know where my wallet is. But if I showed you $100 bill, the $100 bill is not backed by anything. But if I store it in something that can produce something beneficial for someone else, now it's valuable. This is why the gold standard was important, because it gave the dollars and the other currencies its value. So the value in itself is not the money. The value in itself is what is created as a result of the money being distributed. That is language. I hope I'm making sense to you. So, what does money do? Money follows value. If you are not valuable, then you don't know the language of money. So when you're going to that interview and they're asking you, why should we hire you? Don't talk about your degrees. Talk about the problems that they have and the solutions that you can create or have the capacity to create that can help them. When a client is talking to you and asking you what can you do for me, you tell them all the benefits of what your service or your offer can do for them. Because value is putting someone else in mind before you put the money in mind. While I make my price has to be formed in a way that is indicative of the value that I am giving. I have to give more value than the price. So when I tell you my price, it's a no-brainer for you. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Now this is the language of money. So if the scripture says that money answers all things, what is that actually saying? It's saying that when I speak to the money and I give it an assignment, it becomes a solution to someone's problem. When I look at, and even my problem, right? When I look at a problem and I'm seeing the problems of the world, I need to be asking myself a few questions. What is the solution? And do I have the capacity to create the solution? Do I have the proficiency? And is it in my purpose? Proficiency is skill set. Purpose is assignment. Do I have the ability, the capacity? When I see all these different issues in the world, I need to be asking myself those questions. Do I have the proficiency to create to fix the problem? And is it in my purpose to do such? Because if you're burdened about something that you don't have the capacity for, you need to ask, What can I do? What skills do I need to formulate in myself to be able to help fix that problem? Because the gap between the money you desire and the money you don't have is in the answer that money is going to give to you, which is the solution, which is the value for someone else. So it's time out for complaining about things when you don't have the language for money. If you are struggling in a certain area, which I have, you need to ask yourself, what solution can I create that money can answer? I have a problem, or someone else has problems, but money can solve that problem. You have to be more than a problem evaluator. You have to become a problem solver. And the way to solve the problem is through evaluating whether or not it's in your purpose and it's in your proficiency and it's in your passion. Because at the end of the day, if you go into a job that is not aligned in your proficiency or your purpose, you're going to end up hating it. If you start a business that's not in your proficiency or your purpose, you're going to end up hating it. And then you will undercharge, and then you will be disappointed in the clients that you have ultimately produced in your own self. I said this before. A tree will always produce after its own kind. So that means that you attract who you are. So you will produce the very thing that you are. What is the language of money? Number one, the language of money is understanding that money is a tool. And number two, it is understanding that money only follows value. I'll say this scripture one more time. Money answers all things. So if there's a problem, I can almost guarantee that money can solve it. My name is JaQuan Gamble. Do yourself a favor, do your friends a favor, and share this with them so that they can know how to unlock the language of money for their life. Peace.